So I took the TV suggestion and I went to San Francisco. And while I was on the trip, I collected a whole bunch of maps, which I have displayed here. It's a Purell wipe from on the plane. My plan was to never come back. I was gonna go and live on the streets and be homeless, because I can't fucking stand my whole fucking family. My mother's a nut. She instigates my sister to be fucking asshole to me. My brother is a fucking creep. And, my uncle doesn't believe anything I said. Doesn't believe I can fucking build a shelf. Doesn't believe I could do anything. So I was gonna go and live on the streets and be homeless and actually have a chance rather than staying at home and, living amongst a bunch of idiots who are, very well qualified to keep tearing me down every fucking thing I do. So, I went there on a whim. I really did plan I wasn't coming back. I brought a backpack full of clothes and rolling papers. I didn't have any weed at the time. Didn't want to bring it on an airplane and risk getting in trouble. It was Groundhog Day that I left. On February 2nd, I boarded an American Airlines plane, went to Miami, and then from there, I went to San Francisco. I left Boston from Logan on the 2nd of February. Went to Miami, but that was just to catch another plane to San Francisco. I scared some yuppies in the airport. Told them I was running away from my parents, and their kids would probably do that too. But I mean, I'm old enough now that I should have run away a long time ago. It's just that my mother's convinced me enough that I'm crazy and has forcibly, under duress, like friggin' hell, emotionally manipulated me to being on medication. So this whole time, I was off my meds, a little bit kind of screwy, not really, you know, just my focus was really off, and I was really excited, and withdrawing from antipsychotics that my mother should actually be taking, not me, because she's a fucking nut. She's an abusive piece of shit nut, and she chooses not to believe me because it doesn't matter to her about the reasons why I was sent to the mental hospital, which wasn't even my fault. No, she insisted on using what knowledge she learned to instead get me committed and get me addicted to antipsychotics. Took an Uber from the airport all the way to Haight-Ashbury. It was dark, nighttime. I was walking around lost trying to get my phone to, like, lead me to a good hotel. Thank God for my friend. He, set me to the right place for cheap as hell. Oh my God, thank God for filters on, hotel sites. But I mean, it was dark, I was walking around there. There was a bunch of people I didn't know. There was kids riding around on skateboards, spray painting buildings and stuff, which was cool. Nice place to be. I think I saw the Haight-Ashbury house. I must have. There was a bunch of houses. They all looked alike. The Grateful Dead house, you know. Nice place, though. I would rather live there than with my mother and brother who fucking suck balls. And then from there, my friend found me a hostel called the European Hostel. From there, I was just gonna, you know, I only got the hostel for a night. It was like $70. It was the cheapest place, but I had my own room, which was weird. Bunks actually costed a little bit more, but you had to share a room. I don't get that. Hostel was nice, though. I have pictures of that. Really nice looking place, you know. I stepped out the window, walked around on the roof a little bit, had a good time all by myself. It was really freeing being away from the people who were driving me crazy. My mother and my brother, they are completely against me. They have grouped together to destroy my life so my brother can have a good life, because he's more important to her than I am. Thanks, Mom. Fuck you. I was actually planning on just going up and around, visiting a few spots, and then going to Pier 39, and then eventually just, you know, doing whatever the whole day. And it was that morning that I met a girl from Portugal and we had breakfast. I decided to follow her around since I really do appreciate company, especially good company, you know, people who are nice. And we went around on the trip. It was fun. We made our way over to the Golden Gate Bridge, and eventually we went to my destination, which was Pier 39, because I had to see what the hell they were talking about. Are there both sea lions there and seals? Are there just fucking seals? I don't know. Had to check. Yeah, we visited the Golden Gate Bridge, we saw the crookedest street, and we hit up Pier 39 there. We went to Madame Tussauds, the Wax Museum. We didn't really go in, we were just on the outside. They had a few displays out there. While we were on the trip, we tried to find the sea lions. We did. Me and the girl went up to Vista Point, where we did see a sea lion, and it was definitely a sea lion, too big to be a seal. I don't even know if there are seals around there. I don't think so. All the notations here say sea lions, even though they don't talk too much about them. It's just bullshit. They're like, go to the Sea Lion Center and find out more about sea lions. Like you can't do that online. I intended on going to some museums. I didn't end up doing that. I bought an expensive bandana for like 15 bucks. Worth it, though, because I do love bandanas, and it was a bandana map. Very nice. It was outside of Madame Tussauds, which is on Fisherman's Wharf or Pier 39, roughly right here. Yeah, more sea lions. Like I said, we visited the crookedest street, saw the Golden Gate Bridge. I had a good time at the Golden Gate Bridge. Sea lion with ears, not a seal. I wrote somewhere right here, seals or sea lion, just to kind of, figure it out. And I felt like doing that, went on a whim. I've been trying to get off medication for 5 years, but when your mother keeps sending you back there, either of your own will or forcibly using her social worker skills to call crisis care teams and trick you into being committed, that's really fucked up. Fuck you, Mom. So I took the E train back down to the airport, spent too much time in the airport wandering around. Here's the E train, E train, E train. That's the wharf. That's my ticket back home. And then from there, the girl helped me get a ride all the way back to the airport, where I spent a ridiculously long time just hanging around. Actually had two girls kind of try and flirt with me there. They just kind of existed in my presence or whatever and kind of tried to get me to talk to them. But I really don't do that. Yeah, I was just like, it's probably better just to, ignore them and then find a girl around here or something. I've had bad luck with finding crazy girls. Actually, all the women who have been really awful to me, their last names have started with an H, which is crazy. I don't know if that's a trend or a bad trend. It is definitely a bad trend. We had A-H, we had J-H, and now we have an S-H who lives across the fucking street, and she decides to, pester me anytime she likes. Walks outside my window and lets out a laugh. She only started doing that after she decided I was a dork and had a boyfriend so they could both harass me every time they decided to take a walk. But what turned me off about her was that she was screaming and yelling outside the house, or outside on the street, while cops were there, because and I later found out a few days later that she had stolen $3,000 off her father's credit card, and that's why she was screaming, "What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me?" Because the cops had come to arrest her. And I was like, you know what? I really don't need a woman who's only interested in my wallet. Because frankly, my wallet is not deep enough for myself, never mind someone who wouldn't mind spending nice big chunks of money on credit cards and shit. You know, nobody needs a surprise credit card. And surprise bills on top of that. That really doesn't help life at all. On top of arguing with someone who's completely friggin' insane and won't even, like, think. That's why I left. I couldn't stand them. I was gonna stay there. I should have stayed there. I should have brought a tent and really prepared, and instead of going to San Francisco, because there ain't no beaches in San Francisco, there's there's no beaches. Yeah. But during that time, before I left, I wrote a bunch of Facebook posts. And I wrote about how I was talking to the TV, I was going to San Francisco, I'd never come back. And when I did come back, I claimed I was going to go and live there. I should have, honestly, but, I mean, my ferret, Putin, he's illegal in California, so he would need a permit, and I would need to get a whole bunch of permits and stuff, and that would take time and money, and I had already spent money doing that, so I went home, eventually went back to my job. I had the opportunity to go, though, because they cut my hours, and so for a big span of time, I wasn't working. I mean, don't work for Ocean State Job Lot if you want to stay there for a long time, because they cut your hours every time they don't need you, and then you go from like 15 hours when they don't need you to like 50, 60 hours when they do need you. So, is it a consistent paycheck? No, of course not. But I stayed there because I love the miscellaneous people. I love the oddballs, all my friends. I love talking to old people. For some reason, I always have a problem talking to young people because, they love messing with me. They love trying to make me trip up and stuff and just kind of like irritate me and be really mean to me and shit. So at work, I don't even talk to young people. I'll just talk to old people and see what they're doing and stuff. I mean, outside, sometimes I will. But, I've had enough experiences where girls are just trying to, like, mess with me. Like I said, all that list of H's, every single girl there, the only one I dated was the JH, and the whole time she just wanted me for money and attention, while she already had a boyfriend. Hello? Bad idea. Yeah. Yeah. But never, 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 never flirt with your crazy neighbor even once. Especially if you're going to do it in a very creative way. Back in 2018, I spent a good about 6 months pretending to be crazy, which was fun. I was doing it for the sake of it. What the hell, this is an art student town. I mean, we got two colleges here. We got Montserrat, and then we got Endicott. I'm not saying Endicott is bad, but I tend to get along much better with nerdy art kids, than people who are going to private college because their parents are rich and they're snooty and they're like, oh, we're much better than everybody else. I'm not going to say fuck Endicott College, but a good portion of those kids are just waste of time. To me, at least, going around acting like they're worth $1 million because their dad has a good job or some shit like that, or they have daddy's credit card. I don't know. I've never had daddy's credit card. I wouldn't even steal money out of my mom's wallet because she would know and would never let me live it down. Yeah, I'd like them to be honest, unlike A.H., who led me on for led me on for a very, very friggin' long time, pretending to be interested in me, and yet every time I asked her to hang out, she was busy, this, that, da-da-da, and then accused me of stalking her. But I didn't stalk her. I was leaving her gifts and notes saying, like, trying to figure out if she really did like me. I was convinced. Everybody I told about her told me, she's in love, you're in love, she likes you, she's just scared, doesn't want to say anything. No. That stupid bitch, that fucking cunt, was leading me on all through high school, and then didn't even have the respect for me to tell me that she wasn't interested, that she was just being an egotistical maniac, making fun of me, mostly probably behind my back. And I mean, we'd be sitting at lunch, and she would put her legs up on my lap, and it's like, yo, what the fuck, you know? What does that mean? And I was still a girl at the time. And she always said, oh, I want a boyfriend, blah, blah, I like boys, blah, blah. And I, at the time, because my mother is very homophobic, very transphobic, very queer-phobic, and very conservative, still is, because when I was at the mental hospital and she was talking to the doctor, for some reason she used the right pronouns and the right name, but then as soon as the phone was handed over to me, what did I hear? Dead name, dead name, dead name. Dead name, dead name, dead name. You can't come back here. Blah, blah, blah. You're crazy. No.